Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is Wes Smith with House of Restoration coming to you. Just bringing a little nugget here because I was seeing her reading over Baruk, second Baruk, actually chapter 20, and a couple things came to me, and I realized, wow, these are things that maybe let's share and get it out there, because we see these things happening in the world. Have you ever sat and thought to yourself, man, seemed like time is moving so fast? Man, it seemed like it was just, 2019 and here we is in 2020. And, you could kind of remember uh the month of January in 2019 and here we is in the end of the month of January in 2020. So there's little things that I try to look at in scripture, especially when I hear people constantly quoting things like, man, there will be changes in the seasons, and you won't be able to tell season from season and different things like that. I try to look it up and see if it's actually in scripture. Hey, Auntie, shalom. I knew if nobody else would be here, you would. I mean, so. Um, Doing a sound check though, Auntie. I'll wait on something, Mika or somebody to show up. But just let me know. Can you hear everything real good? But so let's look in Second Baruch chapter 20, verses 1 through 3. It say, therefore, behold, the days come, and the time shall hasten more than the former. Sweet, sweet. Shalom, sister phenomenal. And the season shall speed on more than those that are past, and the years shall pass more quickly than the present years. Look at that. So the time is gonna speed up, and we see that happening now, where the time has speeded up exponentially to the point where it seems like you don't have enough time in the day. Look at verse 2. Therefore have I now taken away Sion, that I may the more speedily visit the world in its season. And I think it's talking about the first coming of Yahusha and also his second coming, right? That things will begin to happen because I'm gonna bring to you a little bit scriptures what that Yahusha and different other ones said, also compared these things. I always like bring at least two other witnesses to the party so that way they can testify one another. So Yahusha will be one of the witnesses to this, and then so Yahusha will be the witness to one of these, and then you will also have Paul being a witness, and Daniel and Enoch. So I found that pretty interesting that we will be able to see these different witnesses, how they also compare with this in scripture and tell what is coming. So that's things that we have to look out for. And I think that's pretty awesome that Yah will do things like that through scripture to show us in different places, right? So look at verse 3. Now therefore hold fast in your heart everything that I command you, and seal it in the recess of your mind. So basically put it in the store it within the memory banks of your mind. Like hold on to it, and then I'm gonna visit you. Normally that's what Yah will do. He'll visit afterwards. So let's look. So now he says, and then I will show you the judgment of my might and my ways, which are unsearchable. See, his ways are unsearchable. And that's something that we have to understand, that the ways of Yah is nothing like our ways. He said his ways are unsearchable. That's why he said, seal it up in the recess of your mind. Then he said, go therefore and sanctify yourself 7 days, and eat no bread and drink no water, nor speak to anyone. So basically, go in solitude, fast, and then look what he said. And afterwards, come to that place, and I will reveal myself to you and speak true things with you. And I will give you commandment regarding the method of the time, for they are coming and tarry not. So meaning that it's not going to waste no time. It's not going to, like, time is really moving on a pace now that is really, really at a point where Yah is patient, but he said that it's about time to visit the people. He gonna visit us quickly, and that's why he said, "Behold, I come quickly." Blessed are those that keep my commandments, but for those that don't, he said it's gonna be as if you're walking naked. So look at that. So now let's look at a credible witness that backs that up. This is Yahusha. He said, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be, and except those days should be shortened." Listen to that, y'all. Those days should be shortened. In other words, you can look at that as time speeding up. "There shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." So for us, brothers and sisters, the days will be shortened because men are waxing worse and worse, and that's what's happening. And so Enoch is going to give credibility also to this, because it also talks about how the days will be shortened because of the sinner, like how bad the sinner has got. But let's look back what Baruk said. Verse 1, "Therefore, behold, the days come, and the time shall hasten more than the former," meaning they shall move quicker, "and the season shall speed on more than those that are past." So you remember what y'all gave us for time, seasons, and that's the sun, the moon, and the stars, and for feast days and all that. So now let's look at the book of Enoch, chapter 80, verse 3 and 5. 3 through 5. "In the days of the sinners, the years shall be shortened." There go another witness. "Their seed shall be backward, and their prolific soil, and everything done on the earth shall be subverted and disappear in its season. The rain shall be restrained, and heaven shall stand still. In those days, the fruits of the earth shall be late." And we see that happening. That's why they make this GMO food, right? With soybeans, and then you got these different little like fruits that you buy now that don't have no seeds. That's GMO. That's basically cloned fruit, right? "So in those days the fruits of the earth shall be late and not flourish in their season, and in their season the fruits of the trees shall be withheld." And so man is trying to trump this by creating their own fruits in the labs and different things. And then they turn around and put it in the soil to make it look like that farmers are growing it or whatever, but that's really not the case. But let's look back at verse 3. "In the days of the sons of the year shall be shortened, the seed," it says, "shall be backward, and their prolific soil, and everything done on the earth shall be subverted and disappear in its season." And to me, I'm looking at this, their seed is talking about the sinners. And basically what it looked like is that they will be trying to create their own, because it said their seed shall be backward in their prolific soil. And remember in the book of Daniel, it said that the seed shall mingle together, but they will not bind. So I mean, maybe that's it, but I don't really know. That's more of a study that I'm going to look on. But let's go on. So then verses 6 through 9 in the book of Enoch, verse 80, "The moon shall change its laws and not be seen in its proper period." Think about it like this, y'all. For the last, I don't know how many years, but I've been reporting this. I think I did a video on my channel back in, I want to say 2015, about the moon being out during the day. Probably 2014. It just depends. It was around my channel was really first getting started up. But I asked the question, and somebody answered on there and said that is always like that. And I said, no, it wasn't like that when I was a kid. You would just see the moon getting ready to come out right before, you would see the moon getting ready to come out right before, a couple hours before the sun. But now you can see it out all throughout the day. So think about that. You can see the sun out, the moon out all throughout the day while the sun is out. And it didn't say that. It didn't say, he gave us a description of the moon, not the sun, because we know that the sun, is actually coming out. And what does a lot of people worship the moon and the sun, and the stars. So this is something that he told us to be careful of. "So the moon shall change its laws and not be seen." You see that? The moon shall change its laws and not be seen at its proper period. But in those days shall heaven be seen, and barrenness shall take place in the borders of the great chariots in the west. It shall shine more than the other orders of light, while many chiefs among the stars of authority shall err, perverting their ways and works. And this is talking about the following. Chiefs among the stars of authority shall err. So look at verse 7. Those shall not appear in their season who commanded them, and all the classes of the stars shall be shut up against sinners. The thoughts of those who dwell on the earth shall transgress within them, and they shall be perverted in all their ways. So this is something that Yahusha said, the love of many shall wax cold. Paul said, evil men shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and deceiving themselves. Look at verse 9. They shall transgress and think themselves Elohim, while evil shall be multiplied among them. And we see that happening right now in this day and time. And I believe that these books, and if you look up, I think if you have the King James Apocrypha, the second book of Baruk is actually in there. It might just be the book of Baruk because there's two books of Baruk. But the second one is more of has a lot of prophetic attributes and things that come with it, just like the book of Enoch. And later on, probably later on in the week, later on this week or next week, I'll be coming back with the book of Enoch and comparing other scriptures with the Ancient of Days. I mean, so now let's look. Here go, just to close out, here go a couple of scriptures that touch on what Enoch just said. And because the transgression of the Torah shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. These are three witnesses now. So you got two from Messiah, one from Paul, one from Daniel. And because the transgression of the Torah shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And there shall be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars. This is to go with what Baruk was saying. That's to go with what Enoch was saying, the first one. So there shall be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. And we see the perplexity, the confusion, things happening, the distress, the earthquakes, the landslides, the waves roaring, the tsunamis happening. You see all this stuff. And then it say, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. At 2 Timothy 3:13. Right? And then you got Matthew 24:12, and then Luke 21:25. So all these guys are agreeing on a lot of the same matters. So then here go Daniel, right? Daniel chapter 2, verse 20 through 22. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of Elohim forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. Watch this. And he changes the times and the season. He removes kings and sets up kings. He gives wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. He reveals the deep and secret thing. He knows what is in the darkness, and the light dwells with him. So, hey, guys, we seek him. He reveals the secret things to us. He shows us the things that we need to know. As we continue to look through scripture and we continue to see things, you know, we do an in-depth study to show ourselves approved. And you know, a lot of people that say, well, you shouldn't read the book of Enoch, you shouldn't read the book of Baruk. Well, I tell you, they are credible witnesses to a lot of the stuff that you read in scripture. And like I said, if you don't have the resources to get an Excel, then there are other sources out there where you can look at these different books or methods. But that's why I try to, bring it and throw it up on the screen so that we can all read through it together. I noticed my little sign up there kind of blocking it blocks the thing. Yeah. So either way it go, y'all. This was just a little nugget that I was bringing forth. I just ask that y'all continue to keep us in prayer over here at House of Restoration. Thank each and every one of you that do show up. And later on in the week, I will be bringing more. And then, we got the threshing floor coming up. We got the Sabbath day gathering and the scriptural devotional. So I'm pretty sure on the threshing floor, Tamika got things that she is gonna reveal, especially just January been a month packed. January 2020 been a month packed with many things. We just continue to pray as we see these things happening. But yep, time has been sped up. Yahuwah did it for his purpose. And we see the seasons, and we can't even really tell a season from a season, because here in North Carolina, it was hot for a majority of the time, like up in the 70s and different degrees. And then I think when I talked to my aunt, like it was unusually warm weather for Connecticut, being up in like the 40s and the 50s versus being in the 20s or 30s, which probably she didn't mind because she don't like being cold. But we just keep these things in prayer as we see them coming to pass. Thank each and every one of you that showed up. I love you. Yahuwah loves you. Don't forget to say thank you, Yahusha. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.